Coffee with Jeff. Coffee with Jeff. Coffee.
Well, hello, how are you? My name is Jeff. I'm an old man from the Midwest, and I am so glad you could join me today. Last week, I did my best to tell you all the information I could find out about the making of today's film, and today, we're gonna watch that film together. Well, not the whole thing, just bits of it, because I don't want to keep you here for like 2 hours. And, by the way, if there's any fans of today's film out there, and there always seems to be, I apologize now. So today we're going to watch a film that was first shown on Mystery Science Theater 3000 on November 26, 1992. It was a 1956 British independent black and white science fiction film, Fire Maidens of Outer Space. The film was written, produced, and directed by Cy Roth, and it stars Anthony Dexter, Susan Shaw, Paul Carpenter, and many other wonderful people. So now, why don't we get into it? Let's get started. The film starts with a little stock footage because stock footage is a low-budget independent filmmaker's best friend. Actually, it looks passable in this film. We're flying over New York City. That's good to know.
In the mutual interests of peace and security for all mankind, the two great nations of the United States and Great Britain had been working on a secret project designated 13.
Plan 13? Wow, for a moment I was worried we were going to do Plan 9. This is Luther Blair, a top nuclear scientist. He's smoking on an airplane in a confined aluminum tube with dozens of other people. That's the way it was even when I was a kid. People smoked in airplanes. Anyway, what is Plan 13?
An expedition into outer space.
And thanks for showing the plane land, or the audience would be confused about how he got onto the ground. That's TWA, or Trans World Airlines, which was owned at the time by millionaire Howard Hughes, who lost control because he failed to pay his debts. The airline went out of business in 2001. Wait, we're in London? Weren't we just over New York? That was a 7-hour journey in the 1950s. Time compression through editing. Thank you, movie. Let's hope that trend continues. You know, you could have used that time compression through editing technique for this car ride. Or you could have just started the movie at the observatory. You would have saved us all a bit of time.
We've known all along that the planet Jupiter has 12 moons. But evidently terrestrial fog surrounds the 13th moon most of the time.
Obviously, Mr. Roth couldn't afford boom mics. But we learned that a 13th moon of Jupiter was discovered. And it is so much like Earth that one wouldn't be able to tell the difference between footage of the Earth or footage of this moon. Very convenient for the filmmakers, don't you think? Look at this shot of the woman in white. One unbroken take, 90 seconds long. This is almost like the opening scene of Touch of Evil, or the Goodfellas Copacabana tracking shot.
I wonder if the beings on Jupiter's satellite will look anything like her.
Gentlemen, keep your mind on your job. Well, we're off to a roaring start. A V-2 rocket, that can't be our spaceship. Remember the poster? And it's time to meet the men who will be flying the rocket. I'll speed things up. It's Dr. Higgins, Captain Larson, Sidney, Stanhope, and Anderson. They're all generic characters with no real personality, so don't worry about who's who. But they all agree that it's go time for the rocket launch.
Attention. This is Control Tower Command to all units. Stand by for launching. Count will commence in 1 minute.
Are you kidding me? Another pointless shot to fill time. And we wind up on a clock to show us how much of our time Cy Roth has wasted. Now, for your information, after World War II, the United States confiscated a bunch of V-2 rockets. In 1946, at White Sands Test Range in New Mexico, they began testing them, and that's where all this footage you constantly see in science fiction movies comes from.
ladies and gentlemen. The interplanetary ship has acknowledged our message.
That's a relief. You know, we are well over 10 minutes into this film, and in reality, we could have started on the rocket and just have Luther Blair say, "Hey gang, we're on our way to a newly discovered 13th moon of Jupiter." Roth could have saved that 10 minutes for something like, I don't know, a story. On the spaceship, there's gravity and the crew doesn't wear spacesuits. At least in the 1953 film Catwoman on the Moon, they had spacesuits. And they had a female crew member. That's something that NASA didn't have, or Stanley Kubrick, for that matter.
Everything goes all right, we'll contact Jupiter in 3 weeks.
5 men spending 3 weeks in a V2 rocket. Are there showers? Are there toilets? Ugh, I'm getting queasy just thinking about the smell. A meteor shower, just like rocket ship XM from 1950. Actually, I think that's the same footage. Rocket ship XM, by the way, had a female crew member. More footage of the thrilling journey. Pushing buttons, moving levers, shaving, drinking coffee, using an adding machine, smoking, using a telephone, stars flashing like they're talking to George Bailey. Almost 3 minutes of the film that keeps us on the edge of our seat. Finally, dialogue. Pointless, but it's something.
Where's the 13th moon?
Well, it could be one of those, but according to our calculations, it's hidden behind those fog clouds.
The astronauts get a mysterious message from the 13th planet. Finally!
Calling spaceship. Calling spaceship. Report name and destination immediately. You are under our space control.
You know, in reality, the 13th moon of Jupiter wasn't discovered until 1974. To date, I believe Jupiter has 97 artificial satellites orbiting the planet. Hey, wait a minute. Can we see the landing scene from 1955's King Dinosaur? And King Dinosaur had 2 female crew members. It's been a hard 3-week voyage. These heroes deserve a smoke.
From the expression on your face, Professor, I'd say you've found that the atmosphere on the 13th moon of Jupiter is similar to that of the one on Earth.
Yeah, you hit the nail right on the head.
That's good because I don't think they have any environmental spacesuits or anything like that, you know? And I'm sure there's no diseases or anything to worry about. So they all leave the spaceship, ready to explore. But unexpectedly, somebody throws rocks at them. Then they see a flashing light.
Head for trees at signal. Head for trees at signal. Well, that's it and all. Just repeating the same message. Hey, it's Morse code.
Wait a minute, you translated it first, then you realized it was Morse code? Morse code? Really? So they head out to find the beacon. Well, they run to find the beacon. And they run, and they run, and I'm not sure why. Can we just get to the Fire Maidens? I mean, that's why we bought a ticket. They come across the beacon, and one of the men takes pictures with his deluxe Polaroid camera.
Never seen anything like it before.
We'd better get back to the ship before it gets dark. We can return tomorrow.
No, you can't do that. We've been waiting a half hour to see the Fire Maidens. Don't go back. A scream. Thank God. Maybe this will lead to a plot.
Woman!
You can say that again, and with all the necessary ingredients.
I'm going to put a stop to this.
We're here to explore, not to get involved in something we know nothing about. Fire a warning shot first.
And 30 minutes into the film, we have a Fire Maiden.
Biologically speaking, the forms of life on this planet are unusual, to say the least. So far, 2 extremes.
You can have your extremes. Just let me navigate in one direction only.
Right now, Mr. Navigational Expert, our bearing is 000.
Keep it in your pants, gentlemen. Okay, we'll find out in a minute or two that she can speak, and talk English, so why she didn't now makes no sense. But it does give an excuse for a little Jack Lippert-style padding.
Doctor, you're in charge of the rear guard. Anderson and Stanhope will stay with you. Captain Larson will come with me. If we don't return in 30 minutes, go to the ship and remain there.
Okay.
So nice of Blair and Larson's to sacrifice themselves and face the danger. You other three can just wait for us here. Hey, authority has its privileges.
Welcome to New Atlantis.
New Atlantis. Huh? There's a lot of talk here, but to make matters simple, a handful of people, one man and a bunch of sexy women, are the last survivors of the lost continent of Atlantis. From Earth. Now a quick history lesson. Atlantis never existed, no matter what the History Channel tells you. It was a fictional island mentioned by Plato in 360 BC as an allegory for the hubris of nations. It would be like 2,000 years from now, people looking for the remains of the Death Star. Anyway, somehow, this race from 590 BC made their way to the 13th moon of Jupiter and now have the technology to trace the voyage of a Earth spaceship on their way to their moon. Yet they can't defeat a monster that's outside the walls of their city. And this man, named Prasus, is the last male on the planet with a bunch of beautiful ladies. Shouldn't he be doing his best, to help repopulate the planet, if you know what I mean? And they all look about the same age. We'll need some explanation about that later on. Something isn't adding up here. The thing is, he sort of needs help to repopulate New Atlantis. And I'm thinking that he thinks these men from Earth can help.
New Atlantis must not die.
What's he trying to suggest? Do you think he means... Hey, wait a minute, I'm a happily married man with 2 growing kids.
Oh, come on now. Just tell your wife you had to have sex with these beautiful women as an act of charity to save an ancient race. You had no choice. And now the obligatory dancing. Gentlemen, I'd be worried about that wine you're drinking. Let's hope it's not spiked. Look, Hestia, drugging a man so you can make love to him is not right. People on Earth have gone to jail for such behavior. And there's these guys, whatever. And the Earth crew, whatever. Back to these guys, whatever.
Anderson, contact control. Stanhope, run a check over our supplies.
Isn't the story supposed to be about Fire Maidens? And the next day, who are they trying to hide her nakedness from? The director, Cy Roth? Cy, we see you hiding there behind the bushes. Now fully dressed, she goes to talk to Blair. Or should I say, not talk to Blair.
Where's Larson? What's going on around here? Why were we drugged?
She motions him outside, and once outside, she's free to speak.
The walls possess eyes and ears, but here the only sound is of the ripple of tiny waves on the lake.
What's the name of the lake?
Prasus holds us all prisoners. He has the power of life or death in New Atlantis.
So I guess she didn't talk because Big Brother was listening? Again, why? Good morning to me.
Everything's coming up Millhouse. Hit the road. Get lost. I mean, go away!
Captain Larson wants these beautiful women to leave? Alright, this film has just become unbelievable. And back to these guys, which is pointless except we get our first look at the creature. And what a creature it is! I'm embarrassed for Cy Roth just looking at it.
Are we just gonna sit here and wait for Blair and Larson to come back?
What if they don't come back?
Or what if they're having sex with dozens of beautiful women in order to repopulate the descendants of Atlantis?
Let's go.
And the cavalry is on their way. More walking with the monster watching.
And with your aid, New Atlantis will rise stronger than ever.
So start doing it. So wine is poured once again, and again Luther's is drugged. But Hestia stops him from drinking it. And when Praxis gets up to praise Aphrodite, she switches the glasses.
What in the world can that be?
What? Where? Yes. Once again, New Atlantis shall rule. Once more, we shall regain our former.
I'm still not sure why Prasus is supposed to be so evil, or what his end game is. If it's just to repopulate the planet, why didn't he try asking, what's with all the drugging? I don't know. Okay, let's find out what's been going on so far. 5 Earthmen have landed on the 13th moon of Jupiter, which is inhabited by the descendants of Earth's Atlantis. It consists of 1 old man and dozens of beautiful women. The old man is named Prasus, and I guess he's the bad guy and a father figure to all the ladies. He wants the Earthmen to help repopulate the planet and also defeat a creature which roams around outside the walls of the city. At this point, Prasus has been drugged. I don't know what's happening with Captain Larson. The other 3 are on their way to help, but they're being followed by a man in a Halloween mask and black leotards, and there's a pretty blonde named Hestia who took about 2 minutes to fall in love with Luther Blair. I think that's it so far.
It was foretold in the sands of time that we would meet.
We'll get Larson, then find a way to escape, and you're coming with me.
There is no escape from New Atlantis until
Prasus gives his consent.
You will never do that.
Even for you, his daughter?
We are all his daughters under the law of Atlantis. All women look to the ruler of Atlantis as their father.
Well, that explains that. I guess he could have helped repopulate the planet.
Atlantis is impregnable. Whoever desires to enter or leave will be destroyed at the boundaries.
Thus the need for the destruction of the creature.
The whole thing, the old man, the monster, the city, none of it makes any sense. I mean, Hestia got out and back into the city with only a mild harassment by the monster, and the other 3 astronauts, well, they seem to be doing okay traveling around the countryside. As far as the apparently tyrannical old man, it's dozens of beautiful women against 1 elderly man. I don't see what they're afraid of. What is the problem here? The other 3 arrive, and one of them, climbing a tree, finds out just what they're missing.
Girls! Hey, why didn't you say so before? Yeah, well, if you 2 are going to argue about it, we'll never get over that wall.
So, more determined than ever, they find a way to get in. They can't go over, so...
Yeah, we'll never get over that wall with some sort of an electrical charge guarding it. That's for sure.
Well, if not over the wall and not around the wall, why not under the wall?
Why not? Why not, indeed?
Back to the Earth.
Control calling Expedition 13. Calling Expedition 13. Come in, 13.
You know, radio signals take between 33 and 54 minutes to travel to Jupiter. You'd think these scientists would know that, wouldn't you? Hestia is tied up by the other women, and I'm not sure why, but I think we might be watching a Cy Roth fantasy. Captain Larson sits smoking, and we're suddenly watching some sort of sacrifice and more dancing. I have no idea what's going on. And this guy's been doing this for like the last 10 minutes.
At the first ray of light, you must die.
She must die!
Now the other three had gotten inside and were captured by the women, all off screen.
We captured them in the garden.
Make them watch the sacrifice. Let all the men watch the sacrifice.
Yes! Get all the men!
Get the men!
Get them!
Meanwhile, yeah, that happened. And I guess all the rooms have chair-based secret passages?
In front of you. Move it. Push it. The exit is there. Hurry.
To make a long story short, Blair and Larson find their guns. Prasus wakes up. The girls are doing this, whatever this is. Duessa dances some more. The monster gets in and takes care of Prasus. Don't you just hate it when a monster gets into your city right in the middle of a sacrifice? All the ladies run screaming except Duessa, who stands her ground, then gets thrown aside. I guess that was justified because she was the one who encouraged the sacrifice, maybe?
For Pete's sake, shoot at her! Hurry! Bullets bounce off him! Throw the gas grenade!
Wait, a gas grenade? They have those? You know, Hestia was right there where you threw it. But in the end, as you can imagine, all is fine.
I go with my beloved to Earth, but I shall return. Meanwhile, Nisa shall be your temporary ruler.
So none of these men offer to stay behind and help repopulate the planet. Are you kidding me? Come on now, talk about unbelievable.
But Prasus, he promised his husbands.
We'll be sending expeditions from the Earth.
So you think they're going to put an ad in the paper? You know, wanted men to help repopulate a planet inhabited by dozens of beautiful young women. Apply now. How long do you think the line's going to be for that? So all the women wave goodbye as their friend and the astronauts travel back to Earth.
Mission completed.
Now, first of all, and I've brought this up before, when making a movie, think about your budget as you're writing it. Obviously, Cy Roth didn't have enough cash to make this ambitious film. More importantly, though, know when to say when. I mean, most films take a little artistic license and they require a little suspension of disbelief by the audience, but at a certain point, while writing, you need to ask yourself, have I gone too far? How much will the audience buy before they check out? I think Cy Roth went far beyond that point. And ask yourself, when using padding to lengthen your movie, how much padding are you going to put in before you bore the hell out of your audience? Mr. Roth, why not a crime thriller set in England, where this movie was shot, that takes place in 1957? That way you don't really have to worry about costumes or sets so much and whatnot. But you know, this is the point of the show where I usually tell you how I would fix the story or make it better, but at this point I'm coming up with very little. But I was thinking, there's a lot of these films, especially in the 50s and 60s, that take place in a society mostly inhabited by women, and almost every one of them has a dancing scene. So I put together a little collage of some of these dances, and let's watch that now. This is a film that was shown on Mystery Science Theater, and I try to include a little something about the Mystery Science Theater 3000 episode, but I can't do a lot because, well, copyright reasons. So what I usually do is show a few obscure references and explain them. So we have a couple right now.
Oh, I bet George Kennedy's in this.
There was a series of 4 films from the 1970s: Airport, Airport 1975, Airport 77, and The Concorde, Airport 79. And George Kennedy was in all of them.
Tony, don't you hear? We have to shut down. I can't hear a thing. There's too much noise. Hold on, we're going for broke.
We've got to help George Bailey.
Well, that, of course, is a reference to It's a Wonderful Life.
A lot of people asking for help for a man named George Bailey. George Bailey.
Hello. 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 Hello.
That, of course, was a reference to the Three Stooges.
Hello. Hello. Dr. Howard, Dr. Fine, Dr. Howard, Dr. Howard speaking. I'm fine. So am I.
Now, MST showed 74 minutes of this 80-minute film, which means they cut out 6 minutes. Some of the scenes they cut out were the introduction of the crew, almost a minute and a half of the flying through the space montage, a conversation between Luther Blair and Duessa, a 3-minute chunk, which includes a scene in which Luther and Hesta confess their love for one another, and a few other things. So next week I'm going to have another biography. This one about the actress who first played Sheena of the Jungle on TV in the 1950s. And then in 2 weeks, I'll be tackling the 1957 American made-for-television comedy horror science fiction film, Attack of the Eye Creature, a film by Larry Buchanan, which stars John Ashley and a bunch of people you've probably never heard of before. Anyway, until then, I want you to take care, try to stay healthy, and I'll see you when I see you. So, bye-bye.